They say that you need at least 10,000 hours of practice to become an expert. Maybe, but what do you practice? Well, I asked some of my friends what was the most important lesson they have learned in their career as a musician, and that's probably what you should practice. Answers are coming up. Hi, my name is David Wallimann. Welcome to this channel, which is all about helping guitar players like yourself find their voice on the instrument, develop it to tell your own personal musical story. Today we're going to learn some of these lessons that only time could give you. And if you can take those and apply them to your own personal growth, you're going to grow. Okay, I'll start, then I'll let my friends answer. For me, what has helped me the most was to realize that music comes from within, from inside. Guitar is a tool, the pencil. There's no hidden songs in this. It's just a piece of wood with strings. I'm not saying that this can't inspire new things. It can, and it often does. Getting a new guitar inspires you new ideas, but the ideas are kind of inside of you already. And if you realize that, that helps you strategize all your practice sessions towards that unique goal of being able to translate into music people can hear your musical thoughts. So that means that it starts inside. When I listen to a backing track, I always try to not do it with the guitar, because then I'm gonna be tempted to start playing, noodling, or whatever, and the music that comes out might work, but it's gonna be heavily influenced by the technique that I have already acquired. Whereas if I start by putting the guitar down, and that's whether I play on a backing track or compose or whatever, and start in my head singing things, then your musical thoughts are not directed by the technical aspects of playing. If you can't play something that you're singing, well, that's gonna help your practice session. It's gonna give you direction. And that has really, really helped me in my musical journey. Finding the things inside, listening, and not creating all music with the guitar. It starts from inside. My best compositions, I think, were done on walks, just listening and imagining and composing in my head. So start within, and everything should be, I think, geared towards being able to translate those inner thoughts into music. So that's my tip. Listen to the music that is already inside of you and see how you can translate that on the guitar or whatever instrument you're playing.
Hi, Jennifer Batten here, and I think the thing that really helped me the most as a musician is transcribing, whether it's writing out other people's solos or tunes, or just doing it by ear and just playing it without writing it out. It allows you to get in and really, like a mad scientist, tear things apart and figure out why you like them, figure out the details of other people's work, whether it's sliding, bending, all kinds of nuances, the speed of the vibrato. That's where the candy is, and I think that's what really helps you emote more than anything, is digging into the little details that really resonate with you. And back in the day, I would take a needle on the record player and go back and forth for hours and drive my sister up a wall. Then it was cassettes, and I even went as far as they had cassette machines that you could take the motor down, so you could go anywhere from 0 down to a whole octave below, and it would slow down. And then I would send that through a pitch machine and EQ and just really try to dig in and get exactly what was going on. Now it's easy with the digital age, and I use a software called Transcribe that I highly recommend. In fact, you can find it on my website in the store. But it's for Windows and Mac, and not only does it allow you to slow down, but you can get rid of the bass. There's some preset EQs. You can hit bass remove and boom, all the bass frequencies are gone. And you can also go into karaoke mode and get rid of the center track, which is either vocals or lead instrument. And so it's the next best thing to having the actual master tracks, because you can really get in there and hear what's going on. So when you get rid of, for instance, the vocal and the bass, what you're left with is guitar and keyboard frequencies and drums. So you got the time there. And sometimes, depending on the mix, it can really play tricks on you. So I use that for everything. I use it to learn every song and have for years now. And I can slow it down if there's something That's a little too fast for me. I can take it down to 2% speed if I want to. There was one thing I remember I took down to 25% speed. I didn't know if I could ever get it up to speed, but after 2 weeks of trying, just playing slow, slow, slow until the brain really engages and gets that down, you just kind of automatically know where you can bump up the speed. And there's also an automatic speed trainer in it. You can, for instance, say, play that loop, play that 4 bars for 5 times at 50% speed, and then go up 2% every 5 times. And it's like having a coach whipping you for free. I can't say enough about that. But really getting in there and learning what other people are doing, the things that really resonate with you are the things that you will retain in your own playing.
Hi, my name is Mika. One thing that really has helped me to connect with guitar and music better has been this sing through the guitar technique. The idea and concept is very simple. You sing and then you play it. That's the first step. So you sing note do 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 do. You play, you sing these little intervals and melodic lines, and then your mission and task is to find those notes on the fretboard and play them. And one thing that also helps here is if you approach the whole fretboard more in horizontal way. So when you play more this direction, for some reason it seems that you're able to connect with your singing way much better, and you will find the intervals way much more easier this way. When you play positions, there's a risk that you start playing scales or licks that you already play all the time. So this horizontal way is great for making more melodies, in my opinion. In the end, you want to be able to sing and play at the same time, but at first you have to practice them separately. So sing, then play. And we're going to demonstrate with Mr. Fastfinger how it's going in action. He has way much better singing voice than me, so this is more enjoyable for you.
To really connect with the instrument, you have to become a guitar singer. Now, repeat after me. Good. I think you're ready to play melodic.
Yeah, well, this technique is, I think it makes guitar playing more singing-like, and it's less letting your fingers decide where you're going and taking the control over your music yourself, and you using your guitar more as a tool of making the music. So have fun.
When asked the question, what has helped me grow the most as a musician, the first thing that comes to mind is relationships. Of course, there's time put into playing and practicing and developing your tone and, you know, going down the gear rabbit hole and all that stuff. But if you're going to ask me the most important thing, it's definitely the relationships. The relationship with my wife. I met her when I was 17 years old. I wasn't playing the guitar all that long. I was just starting to play in bands and this and that, and she's been in my life ever since. So that relationship has always been there, encouraging me and picking me up when I'm down, and everything positive. So that's always played a really important role in me developing and growing as a musician, because a big part of being a musician, I mean, this is art. This is something that's creative and comes from within. A big part of that is the person that you are, and a big part of who I am is my wife. And then, you know, relationships. I'm a father. I have kids. I have 2 boys I'm very proud of. And when my first son was born in 2002, I can really honestly say that's when my career really kicked into overdrive. Things were okay before then. There were some things that happened that are good, that are great, that I finally look back on. But it's around that time that I really started to see things come together, and mostly it was because I really started to work harder on it, because now I had another you know, person to be responsible for. You know, my wife and I, you know, any of you dads out there, any of your parents out there, moms of course included, you know what that's like. It changes everything. So the relationships I have with my children is a big part of who I am as a musician also. And finally, my relationships with other players and teachers, big time with the guys that I've studied with. I hold them in the highest regard, and each one of them has made such an impact on me, but not just through what they literally taught me how to do, but also you know, how they guided me to become a person, an adult, a functioning part of society, and also a guitar player. But also those relationships with my teachers, some whom I call very good friends today, they were instrumental in putting me in places that would further my career. So those relationships I had with those guys, first as a student and then becoming you know, friends and co-workers and peers, those played a huge role in my progressing as a musician and developing as a musician, and like I said before, just basically as a person, as an adult. So that's it. That's I think is the most important thing, aside from all the obvious stuff, you know, about physically playing and doing all the guitar nerd stuff that we do and love and this and that. A very important aspect, maybe one that doesn't get talked about enough, is what your surroundings are, and the first thing in your surroundings is the people, and that's the relationships.
What has helped me grow the most as a musician? Well, I can't nail it down to one thing, but I would say a few things. Mainly transcribing, and I don't mean, you know, getting out the staff paper and your pencil and notating the rhythms and the notes. Even just listening and trying to find that note or rhythm, you know, on your instrument. You know, also that's helping you with ear training. You know, because ultimately, what do we want to do? We want to be able to play what we hear in our head. And so we have to strengthen that connection of, you know, what we hear in our head and finding it on our instrument. And I'd say another thing that's helped me grow as a musician is improvising with a backing track. Again, that's strengthening that connection between what you're hearing in your head and your instrument. The other thing would be performing under pressure, whether it's recording, playing a gig, of course filming, and then lastly just learning about music theory and harmony, and that way you can it helps you make sense of the things that you're transcribing. So I think all that combined has helped me to grow as a musician.
I'm Jesse Solomon. Recently my friend David Wallimann asked me, what's the most valuable lesson that you've learned during your musical career? I've learned a lot of lessons during my musical career. The most important ones I think were at the beginning. The idea of setting a large goal, having small attainable goals in between to get to that large goal, that's probably one of the most valuable lessons that I learned. Instead of just going towards a large goal and hitting that wall every time, wondering why, realizing that if you just set small attainable goals that you know that you're going to reach, feel a sense of accomplishment each time you learn something, each time you accomplish something. Keep going, until you reach that larger goal. That's a very valuable lesson that I learned. The other one is gratitude. Feeling grateful for the talents that you have, the abilities that you have, and seeing those in other people, and being willing to give it up to other people that are accomplishing things ahead of you and before you, instead of feeling that jealousy or that envy. Give it up to other people. Feel that gratitude, be grateful, celebrate people's accomplishments, be inspired by it. Those are the valuable lessons that I've learned. That's what's kept me going. I utilize those all the time. Hope that helps you. Thanks. Peace out.
Hi everybody, Levi Clay here, coming at you from my studio in sunny Scotland. It's not sunny, it's never sunny. Beautiful though. So today I would like to respond to David's question on what was the most important musical lesson that you ever learned. I've been working in the music industry now for 7 or 8 years and it's awesome, but there have definitely been important lessons that I've learned that have helped me to develop my career. And I know from the contributions that other people are submitting to this video that what I'm going to say here is really just dressing up the same concept but in a different way. So the most important musical lesson that I ever learned was to develop your ear. That sounds ridiculous, right? Of course you need to develop your ear. We all play music and that is sound, so we should really be listening to everything we're playing. But I found that in my experience as a player, I spent the best part of 10 years not listening to what I was playing. I spent the best part of 10 years hearing music and not being able to play any of it unless there was a tab book for it. I could hear and enjoy something but not really understand what was happening until I looked at the tab, put my fingers down where it told me to put them and go, oh yeah, that's what's being played there. I did not have that connection with music. So developing your ears is incredibly important. Now how do we go about doing that? Well, listen to music. Listen to lots and lots of music. Listen to styles of music that you're unfamiliar with. Listen to music that you don't like. Listen to music that you do like. Listen to everything. Be a critical listener. Listen to things that you like and point out the aspects of them that you don't like. That's okay. You're allowed to do that. Listen to things that you don't like and find something in it that you like. This will make you a better listener. It will help you to find the good in music that you had otherwise let slip past you. And the benefit of this is that it helps you to develop your own style. I started listening to country music about 10 years ago now via guys like Brent Mason and Brad Paisley. And yeah, there were lots of elements of it that I really loved and enjoyed. And the more and more I dug into that, the more and more I found those elements in other artists. And now I'm a huge country music fan. I listen to so much country music. I write country music books. I never would have imagined that was going to happen years ago, but it's through listening to music that that has happened. The other benefit of this is developing the skill to play what you hear, not what your fingers want to play. This was the worst thing ever for me as a youngster. I practiced my scales and my arpeggios and playing scales using intervals and things like that, and I found that when it came to playing, improvising, my mind and ear switched off and my fingers ran up and down the scales. They ran around the neck in all of the licks and patterns and phrases that I'd practiced, and it didn't feel inspired. It felt like I was going through the motions. I wasn't listening to what I played. Now I spend a lot more time listening to every single thing I do, and everything I play I try to make sure that it's influenced by what I have just played, and everything I play I try to make sure takes into account what I'm likely to play next, giving everything a sense of context. I try and sing everything that I play in my head as I'm playing it. If I play a phrase and I listen very closely to it, I ask myself, what do I want to hear next? Sometimes that will mean going off and playing what the fingers want to play, just going with it, a flurry of notes, excitement. That's cool, that's great, that's awesome, we all like to shred. But never losing sight of that, what do I want to hear? And the last aspect of this, the thing that you'll take away from this, is you learn that music is not a competition. And if you spend any time comparing yourself to other musicians, you're doing yourself a disservice. You are the best you in the world. Nobody plays like you. You should celebrate that fact. I am not the best guitar player in the world, not even close, but I have never been more happy with my playing than I am now. Not because I'm the best, but because I have so many aspects of my playing that sound like me. And I celebrate those things. I do my best to tease out those things. I play those things over and over and I develop them. I celebrate my mistakes because the mistakes I make are not the mistakes that you would make. And that's cool. My mistakes are a part of me. You cannot cheat in music. If somebody has a go at you for using a fret wrap or something like that, tell them they're cheating for using frets. That's how ridiculous that sounds. Music isn't a competition. It's impossible to cheat. Do everything in your power to play the things that you want to hear. Because if you want to hear them, chances are your listeners want to hear them too. So there you go. That is the most important musical lesson I ever learned. And I wish somebody had hammered that into me when I was younger.
If this was your first visit on this channel, I would love for you guys to subscribe because I have about 3 videos coming out every single week helping guitar players like yourself find their voice on the instrument, develop it so that you can be a better player and communicate more effectively what's inside of you. Thank you so much for watching this. I will see you next time, and remember, nobody can play the way you play on the guitar, but you've got to do the work in order to let it come out. I'll see you next time.